Welcome to applying 3M graphic film to texture walls. This presentation is for the exclusive use of graphics manufacturers and their graphic applicators who use 3M brand films and tools. For the most successful application to textured surfaces, 3M recommends that you have in-person training and use this presentation as a supplement. 3M patents are pending on the film and tools. Thousands of square feet of walls and columns in arenas, stadiums, and other public gathering spaces are coming to life thanks to 3M's new graphic system for textured surfaces. When applied with 3M's unique new application tools and techniques, 3M's specially engineered film, Scotch-Kale brand graphic film for textured surfaces, conforms and molds over indoor textured, painted surfaces like concrete block, brick, tile, poured cement, and stucco, including most mortar joints, yet are flexible enough to wrap around columns. It's the alternative your customers have been waiting for: faster, cleaner, and more economical than comparably sized graphics. Create images that look remarkably like paint, as well as crisp, clean striping and graphic shapes, something that just isn't possible with paint on textured surfaces. Whether you want to project personality into corporate brands, bring brands to life, or stand out in a crowd, you can showcase almost any venue while creating a stimulating, visually exciting environment. Application tools include a heat gun with a readout up to 1100 degrees, a release tool, razor and a safety holder, tape measure, 2-inch wide masking tape, heat-resistant gloves. Always wear a heat-resistant glove on the hand that holds the application tool. Please note that our TSA tool may have a slightly different appearance. 3M has designed several unique application tools that are used in combination with the heat gun in the successful application of film to a textured surface. 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA1 is designed for applying heated film to large expanses of textured surfaces. 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2 is designed for working heated film into mortar joints and inside corners. 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA3 is designed for finishing the edges of heated film and working heated film into tight spaces. 3M's Power Grip Magic Pad Applicator CPA1 is used for working heated film around protrusions or obstacles. So how do you determine if a graphic film will stick to that wall, and how do you prepare it to make sure it's ready to receive a graphic? Always start with the proper surface preparation. Contamination such as dirt, grease, and food spills create a barrier between the adhesive and the wall and will reduce adhesion. For most primed and painted walls, we recommend washing the substrate with detergent and water. 1 ounce detergent per gallon of water is typically recommended. For areas with a heavier concentration of grease or oil, a solution of trisodium phosphate and warm water may be used. Always prepare cleaning solutions according to manufacturer's instructions and use any recommended safety equipment and precautions. Brush off any loose material, especially the grout or mortar joints into which you will be conforming the film. "3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA1 is designed for applying heated film to large expanses of textured surfaces. It is very important to set all edges of the graphic. Set the top and bottom first, then the sides. You will set the edges by pointing the gun away from the edges at 6 to 10 inches away. You will follow with the roller to ensure the edges are adhered properly. Set the heat gun to 1000 degrees Fahrenheit. Hold the gun about 1 inch from the surface and pointed towards the textured surface, not towards the foam roller, and immediately in front of the roller. Move the gun and roller together at a consistent speed. 2 inches per second is a good starting point. Overlap each stroke by 2 inches to ensure good adhesion. Always work towards an open edge to avoid trapping air. 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2 is designed for working heated film into mortar joints and corners. Set the heat gun to 1000 degrees Fahrenheit. This shows how to use 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2 for mortar joints only. In an actual application, the film would have been applied to the textured surface first using 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA1. Hold the gun about 1 inch from the surface and pointed towards the textured surface, not towards the foam roller, and immediately in front of the roller. Move the gun and roller together at a consistent speed. 2 inches per second is a good starting point. Always work towards an open edge to avoid trapping air. Notice that air has been trapped in a mortar line. This occurred because both horizontal mortar lines were applied before the vertical mortar line. You can fix this problem by applying the film using 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2, piercing an air release hole at the bottom and using your fingers to press out the air. To apply film to mortar lines without trapping air, determine your application sequence before starting. The goal is to always work toward an open edge so air can escape. 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA3 is designed for finishing the edges of heated film and working heated film into tight spaces. "3M's Power Grip Magic Pad Applicator CPA1 is used for working heated film around protrusions or obstacles. The difference in using this tool is that you heat the film and immediately press firmly with 3M's Magic Pad Applicator CPA1. Walk down a corridor of any large sports facility and you are likely to see painted drywall, concrete block, glazed tile, or brick. Here are examples of the types of textured surfaces that are suitable for using 3M's Scotch-Cal brand graphic film for textured surfaces. Rough texture concrete, medium texture concrete, unpainted cinder block, painted cinder block, medium texture painted cinder block, glazed block. When applying film to glazed block, always use the standard applicator squeegee to apply the film to the glazed block. Do not use the heat gun. Finish the mortar joints with 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2 for mortar joints and inside corners. Brick, stucco, and painted drywall. There are 4 main types of mortar joints that vary in depth, width, angle, and texture. Let's review each one. Concave, V-shaped, weathered, and raked. Raked is only recommended for Mosaic style applications. It is especially important to test for adhesion wherever film bridges mortar joints. Many graphics have more than one panel. You'll notice that the techniques for panel seam overlaps are not much different than any other multi-panel graphic application. Fully apply the first panel of graphic using the techniques and tools demonstrated earlier in this presentation. Note the consistent speed the applicator is using with the heat gun and tools, and how the film conforms to the texture of the application surface. In this example, the mortar joint is concave and not too deep, so the film adheres well without going back over it with 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2 for mortar joints and inside corners. Align the second panel using a 1/2 inch overlap. Use your hand to lightly adhere the film to the surface. Using the heat gun and an appropriate tool, apply the film from just before the overlap to the open edge. Always roll completely past the open edge for the best adhesion. The Mosaic application technique creates the visual impression of an image baked right into a block. After applying the film, use a sharp razor in a safety holder to smoothly cut the film away from the mortar joint, leaving a margin of film extending about 1/8 of an inch beyond the block. Remove the film from the mortar joints. Use the razor blade to cut off any tabs of film that may occur at the corners of the blocks. Reheat the film along the edges where the film was cut and removed to conform around the edges of the block and ensure good adhesion. We recommend using 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2 for mortar joints and inside corners. The film we are showing you today is designed specifically for textured walls, but don't let a doorway or a window become a barrier to a huge graphic. 3M has many films that can be used along with the textured film to cover these additional spaces. Please contact your 3M sales representative for more information. The following examples illustrate good and bad application techniques. The technique we are showing you is for removing 3M's Scotch-Cal brand graphic film for textured surfaces using an air release tool. Pick at the corner of the film to release it from the block. Grab the film and pull it back on itself to remove it. If it does not remove easily, you may need to apply heat. To use heat, direct low temperature heat gun to the face of the film as you are pulling it back upon itself. Do not apply heat to the adhesive side of the film, which actually makes removal more difficult. Be aware that removing the film may pull away loose mortar or paint as well. Using the heat gun may actually increase the amount of paint that is damaged or removed. Let's summarize what we've learned so that your next application is successful. Set the heat gun to at least 1000 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, however, that excess heat blisters and burns the film. Moving at about 2 inches per second is a good starting place. Remember to always set your perimeter edge, top and bottom first, then the sides. Keep the heat gun about 1 inch from the film and immediately in front of the application tool. Never direct the heat source at the foam tools. You need to heat the film, not the tool. Always work toward an open edge to avoid trapping air. Overlap each stroke by 2 inches. Overlap seams by 1/2 inch. And then apply the new panel by starting just before the seam and working toward the outer edge. When applying film to glaze block, always use the standard applicator squeegee to apply the film. Ensure good adhesion of all the edges by reheating the film and finishing with 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2. For Mosaic applications, cut the film in the mortar joints and remove the excess film. Ensure good adhesion of all the edges by reheating the film and finishing with 3M's Textured Surface Applicator TSA2. You can visit us at www.3mgraphics.com to get the product bulletins for films designed specifically for applications to textured surfaces and for Instruction Bulletin 5.37. This instruction bulletin provides comprehensive information on various wall surfaces and techniques for successfully applying film to both smooth and textured walls. Please contact us if you have questions or need further information about the 3M products shown in this presentation.